The idea between whales and minnows is that you either make a thing free or you make it expensive. And anything in the middle is kind of a dead zone. Now, free and expensive could be something that you purchase or sell. It could also be a metaphor for your time. You either do the fucking thing or you don't do the thing. You either show up or you don't show up. And if you think about this philosophy towards everything that you do, it's actually a really powerful way to live your life. If you're going to a social life, or you're going to a social event, whales and minnows, you either show up to that social event, you be your, when you're done at that social event, you go home. You don't like half-ass show up, like looking for the tiny little straw in your cup and why did I choose the little straw? You know what I'm saying?
Amber's
right, but like Amber just doesn't show up to social events. That's my entire point. And it's, and so, but then with business, you get all of these people that are suffering often because they don't charge enough money or they're not confident to charge enough money, and perhaps justifiably so because they don't offer a good enough service to justify high prices or prices that would allow them to live any kind of a reasonable quality of life. Because they're not charging enough, so they don't have enough money to develop themselves or time or energy to be able to offer an exceptional service to a customer. And there's so many layers to this idea. But the general concept of whales and minnows is that you sell to the whales so that you can serve the minnows. A lot of people get their knickers up in a bunch when they hear, oh, you need to raise your prices, or oh, you should charge a lot of money for your services, because they're like, oh, but then people can't afford me and I just want to help people, or so many people need our help with health and fitness, and if I charge a lot of money, then I'm not helping them, and then I'm a horrible person and you're a horrible person. It's like, no, here's where you're fucking wrong with all of that. Okay? If you wanted to, I'll give you a metaphor. You guys may have heard me give this one before. This metaphor is, if you really, really believe that it's important to improve dental hygiene in the developing world, okay, and you believe that the way to do that is to donate a lot of toothbrushes to people who live in the developing world, you don't need to start a toothbrush company in order to donate toothbrushes. In fact, what you should do is you should start a company that makes the most amount of money that you possibly can, so that you can buy as many toothbrushes as possible, so that you can buy toothbrushes and donate them to the developing world. Talk about that with fitness. If you really want to help people who can't afford what you do, you don't need to help those people with the product or service that you're selling. The people who you ultimately want to serve the most are not necessarily the people who need to make up the majority of your income.